So what did you miss at Jubilee this Sunday? Well, it was the holiday weekend. And surprisingly, you missed a fair turnout. There were a lot of people here for a holiday weekend. You missed us reading from 1 John, where we're reminded that no one has ever seen God. But if we love one another, God lives in us, and God's love is perfected in us. So we took a few moments to look around and recognize the light of Christ that's all around us. And so this morning we talked a lot about love. Love as we experience it, love as we discover it, love, well, God's love as it's revealed to us in Jesus. And we read from John's Gospel, and we heard Jesus say that I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And we recognize that that's sometimes awkward. That's a hard passage. That's a hard passage because some of our brothers and sisters as Christians will wave that one around and accuse us of not being Christian enough. Because if we took that seriously, we would be converting everybody every chance we got. We struggle with how hard that is sometimes in our relationships with our brothers and sisters who are Muslim or Hindu or Baha'i or Buddhist, who are atheist or humanist. So we wondered what we can do with that. And we recognize that some people would just take that out of the Bible and say, well, Jesus never said that. But it's just too tempting to just start taking things out that you don't like. And we recognize that some would say, well, it's mistranslated. The focus is on the way, not on the person of Jesus. Jesus said, I am the way. And that might be indeed helpful for us. That we focus not on a special incantation where we use Jesus' name, special baptism where we use the water just right, but that we focus on the way that Jesus presented, his way. And we acknowledged that Jesus was not, in that example, speaking to an interfaith delegation, an ecumenical gathering. He was speaking to a group of Jews who were reforming their faith, trying to find a way through to the heart of their faith. And Jesus was recommending a way that he lived, as opposed to adherence to a great many rules, that he was inviting them to discover the Father anew. And so he wasn't lobbing faith grenades at people of other faiths. He was speaking to those who earnestly were trying to reform their own faith and find a new, and for them, a more profound relationship with God. But what does that do for us in 2014? When in fact, we do live in a diverse society. And somehow it doesn't seem respectful and loving that we are out to try to convert everybody, when we ourselves aren't so sure of our faith that we are willing to beat people with it. Not that one should ever be that sure. And then we wondered about the language of love. You know, when we tell a lover that he or she is the most beautiful, the most magnificent person in the world, we are sincere. But we're not talking about an objective truth. We're talking about a subjective truth. We're trying to convey a love that is deep, deep in our bones. We want the person who hears these words to know that they are loved more than we know how to express. The love is deep and profound and amazing. When we tell somebody that we love them more than anybody ever, that we find them more beautiful than anybody in the world, we're not suggesting that we take some kind of measurement out to the world and start measuring all the other people to find out if there's somebody who might be more beautiful. We are saying in this moment, for as long as I can imagine, you are the most important person to me. I love you deeply and forever. You are the one for me. When we say that to somebody, we don't expect them to pick up the phone and call all their friends and tell them that they are not nearly as good. You can't be as good because Norman said I'm the best. We just want them to feel loved. And so Jesus isn't lobbing faith grenades at others. Jesus, in those words, is conveying a deep ache that is love. The love that God has for us. The love that we can experience when we follow Jesus' way. The love that is full of power and hope. The love that God has for us all. Because, as we were reminded in John's letter, God lives in us, and his love is perfected in us. Not by a creed or a dance or a specific communion, but by love. As we follow the way that is Jesus, as we learn to love as Jesus loved, well then we come to God. That's the kind of stuff we talked about this morning. And so we left Jubilee planning to share that love with the whole world, regardless of creed or lack thereof, but committed to sharing love with a world that needs love. That's what you missed at Jubilee today. I hope we don't miss you next week. God bless.